And the next command that we're going to learn at this part is Softmove. This Softmove command moves objects relative to a base or reference location of the move with a fall-off curve, which is similar to soft selection in 2D Max. Here, suppose that we got a surface like this, a planar surface, and then I'm going to use rebuild, and then I want to control the point counts 34 and 34 for U and V. Following that, for the degrees, I do not change them, I set 3. Okay, then if I show the control points and then move them upwards like this way, as you can see, they are not moved smoothly. I mean, the other control points are constraining the other parts of the surface, or in other words, they are controlling the stretchiness. And if I select these and move them, check it out. So by using Softmove, I started. Then we can select the control points of a specific object like this way. And then here we can define a range, and then it allows smooth editing of dense points. After picking the point to move from, here we should pick the radius of influence and also picking the offset. Check it out. And even we can pick the point to move from or click an object type option, as you can see. And even we can scale the size. Check it out, or modifying the radius by this way. And also check it out, the fall off point. Here by the fall off we can edit the dense points smoothly on all of the objects with the fall off curve. I mean, here we are designing something like a bell that you can point and can pick the point and then move it. For example, I place it at the corner. Well done. I start the command again. I select the control points, and then at this part I specify the offset point, the radius, and also the fall off. Here, check it out, we can pick the radius point, and then by using this part we can adjust the fall off point. Check it out, and then by using the next point or the center point we can pick it and then move it. Check it out, just like an object that you're moving it under the carpet or under the sheet. Check it out. Well done. In the continuation, let us work on some practices, but before that we're gonna deal with the options as well. Very well, here we're gonna start the command, but this time I wanna draw this curve, for example, as you can see, and then relative to this curve, I want to modify the control points relative to this curve, and we got this similar version of this at this picture, or this model geometry. Here, as you can see, the surface has been moved relative to the curve with a fall-off curve. So back to Rhino. To do this, here we can start Softmove, and then we select the control points. Following that, we should specify the point to move, which is curves. Then we select the curve as the point to move, and then here we should specify the radius point, just like an offset at both sides, or in other words, this is the radius of influence of the curve. I specify it, check it out, and then the offset, check it out. And then we can pick the anchor point and move it like this way. As you can see, we can create such a model geometry by this way. So it allows you to move the anchor point, and then by right click you can save the changes. Check it out. But for the example, let us model such a surface or facade. Here in Rhino, I want to scale this curve. Check it out like this way. And then I start Softmove, select, and then I click on curve. Since I select curves as basis for the fall-off curve, then I should select curves to move from. The fall-off is applied radially along the curve, creating a tube-shaped volume where the move is active. And then the radius of influence. For instance, by this way, I pick the radius, and then the offset point. Check it out. Okay, this is enough. And this is what we expected. And then by using rotate at 90 degrees, I locate the surface vertically by this way. Then at the next step, we should create some curves on the surface and then converting them to planes or surfaces. Here at the first side, you may want to use extract isocurves and then along this direction, for example V, I'm sorry, and then extract all to extract these curves. Check it out. As you can see, we got the curves, and then we can use gumball to extrude them. Following that, I extrude them along y-axis like this way. Then after extruding them, if you want such a form, let's check out the back. If you want such a model, this way is okay. But also if you want the back part to be straight, here we can use the plane, the vertical plane. Check it out. And then we consider the plane or surface here at the back of the facade or the curves, and then by using extrude surface we select these surfaces and then we click on to boundary. But before that we should specify the direction like this way, and following that to boundary by this way. So we'll extend that the surfaces through each other. And another approach that we can go through and use it is creating a copy from this surface, and then we scale it 0 along y-axis, following that by using loft, and then we select the surface edges and then we close the openings. Check it out. And after filling the openings, we can use contour. Here we select the surfaces or the objects and then contour, then specifying the direction and also the distance, 1 meter. Check it out. Following that, we select the created curves and then we want to extrude them. By this way, we can convert them into these surfaces by extrude. Check it out. And here I turn off the surface edges. So guys, we managed to create such a form simply. And the next point that I should mention it about Softmove command is that we have to locate or position the point we want. I mean, we are not able to apply or move the surface by using Softmove, only by the 4 or 5 control points. Check it out. The results are not satisfying because of the few number of control points, while we could have choose the control point by holding down shift and control. So you should note that we should increase the number of control points by using rebuild. And the next point is that Softmove is not necessarily for controlling the or editing the control points. I mean, I will give you some other explanations about the control points, but we can use Softmove for other polysurfaces as well, or other objects. And then by using array for the in 4D in 1, we array the box like this way. Following that, we got 1600 closed extrusion, and then Softmove. Then we select them. Following that, the point and the radius, and then I pick the anchor point, I move it. Watch this. By this way, we can even move the extrusions with a fall off curve. Look, this is great. By this way, I can modify the radius of influence, fall off point, and then this will be the result. As you can see, you can move these boxes by this way. So guys, just let us try again. To start Softmove, and then selecting the objects to Softmove, press enter, then the point to move, the radius of influence, and then the fall off point. Check it out. Watch this. This is the final result. You can use these in landscape or even in facades or other positions based on your needs. And at the next case, I want to draw some planar surfaces and then array them in the construction plane. Here I select it and then I array it at the same numbers, 40 at each directions. Then we select these to soft move. Following that, the point to move, radius, offset point, and fall off point. Watch this. You can move them smoothly and edit the dense points. All that works on all of the objects. Here we can use this curve, soft move. Watch this. And then I wanna use curves and then the radius of influence. Watch this. And then the fall off point and offset. And then we will have such a result. Check it out. But right now, if I want to make them close to the construction plane, what should I do? So, here we can draw a rectangular plane exactly beneath the surfaces by using project. Check it out. I draw the surface under the surfaces and then I select them. Then extrude surface. Following that to the boundary. Check it out. I want to extrude them to the boundary. Check this out. By this way. Again, I select them and then extrude surface and then to the boundary. Check it out. By this way. So by this way we can have such a model. Check it out. A wavy surface at the render viewport. Check it out. By this way. And the next point that I wanna mention about this command, I delete the objects. Then I'm gonna start drawing some new objects. I'm gonna talk about the option of point. So here I draw a planar surface and then I rebuild it to increase the number of the control points. 4D and 4D. Check it out. Like this way. Following that, I position some points at the corners. I place 4 points at the 4 corners and even at the center. I use the snap of center. Here, as you can see, I have located 5 points on the surface and then I can move them downwards like this way. Following that, I turn on the control points and then soft move, selecting points. I select all of the points by cell PT. After that, at the right view, I hold down control button and then I deselect the added points, the 5 added points, like this way. And then it's time to start soft move. But this time, instead of clicking on curves, here I can click on point so that I can select point objects as the basis for move. Then at the front view, I select these 5 points like this way and then the radius of the influence by this way. And then we can move them upward at the specified offset point. Watch this. And then we can increase the radius of influence. Check it out. And also this part. Watch this. Great. Let's check out the result. So then we can create such a surface by soft move. However, we can have a practice upon this surface. I extrude the surface at the length of 4 meters toward up. Let me try 1 meter. Well done. This is proper. Then by using contour, check it out, select the object and from the origin point, I specify the direction and then the distance between the contour planes, 80 centimeters, check it out. Then I isolate the selected curves and then by using extrude curve, I extrude the selected curves at the distance of 20 centimeters. Then I select the last created objects, Ctrl G to group them and isolate. After grouping these surfaces, I isolate them to hide the other curves like this way. So I hold down Alt button, I click on Gumball, and then I import it 90 degrees. Following that, I select the last created objects. I select the rotated objects, and they are newly created. Select last. I hold down Control, and then I want to select the two last objects in contour, but they are grouped actually, so we should remove the two of the items from the group. I'm going to use remove from group, and then I select the first group. Following that, I select these two to remove them from the group. Check it out. And then again, I start the command to select these two surfaces from the another group. Then I select all of them. Then I hold down Control, and then I remove the ungrouped items. So here we got two groups, and then here we can change the object layers to observe them better. I select this layer and then I move it upwards, for example at the length of 0.5 meter by this way. Following that, I'm gonna use Boolean difference to subtract from the red items or red objects, and also to subtract the red items from the white items. So I start Boolean difference to subtract them, and then subtract from. Check it out. I specify the white objects and then to subtract with the red items. Well done, enter. Check it out. Following that, I want to split that part. Then let's check out the result, guys. We have removed the surfaces, but the grooves are remained like this way. I select all of these surfaces, Ctrl C to to copy the clipboard, and then Ctrl Z to undo the process. But this time again I wanna use Boolean difference, but this time I wanna subtract the red objects. I want to subtract the white objects from the red items. Let's check it out. Wait for a second, please. Check this out, and then Ctrl V to paste the previous result which we had copied, and then here we select it, and then we want to move it to downwards at minus 0.5 meter like this way. Check it out, they are well organized and neat, and the two surfaces are matching with each other here at the rendered viewport by using Softmove, Boolean difference, and contour and other commands. And this can be a waffle structure that you can use the same technique and method to create the waffle structures, and then by using the commands that we will cover them at the future sessions, we can project the curves on the construction plane. For example, you can use laser cut to create the curves on a specific material, and then locate them on proper positions, and then create such a form. But here I'm gonna show you another photo. Let's check it out. The screenshot. For instance, we can model such a project by using Softmove command by this way. Let us continue the process. The next command that I wanna teach you is Softedit surface. Actually, this Softedit surface command moves the surface area surrounding the selected point smoothly relative to the distance from selected point. But before that, you have to rebuild your surface. 4D in 4D, okay. And then I start Softedit surface. Check it out. Following that, we should select the surface. Check it out. It requires a surface. And then we click the base point. For instance, here I specify the base point, and then we pick a point to move to. Following that, we can specify the distance in the direction influenced by the move. For example, for U distance, I specify 4D. As you can see, it moves the surface at both U and V distance or distances. If I set it to 25 and 25 for both U and V, 8 and 18, check it out. So the typed distances will be influenced in the U and V directions when we move the point. And here we got an option which is fix edges, which has been set to no. Let me adjust the distances. Here fix edges keeps edge locations fixed. Here, as you can see by this way, as you can see, it keeps the edges fixed and the construction plane, and they are stretched. Again, we start the command, we specify another point to move upward. Check it out. Following that by using contour and specifying the direction, and then we create the contour curves like this way, the distance of half a meter. I extrude the created contour curves like this way. So we created such a form from the previous surface. Well done. Let us talk about the next command, which is similar to Softedit surface, but it is applied to curves, not surfaces, is Softedit curves. The Softedit curve command moves the curve area surrounding a selected point smoothly relative to the distance from selected points. For example, here we got a rebuild curve in which we got too many control points, and then we want to modify the continuity of the curve, and we cannot select some of the or several points and then move them smoothly. So in order to move this curve area surrounding a selected point smoothly and relative to the distance from selected point, we can use Softedit curve. Let's check it out. We specify the curve and then the base point that we should click on the curve. Check it out. Here we can specify the offset point, and here the distance in metal units along the curve from the editing point over which the strength of the editing falls off smoothly. Here we can enter a value like 5, and then let's check it out at the top view, or 15 as distance, or 25. Watch this. By this way. And here even we can click on the curve to set the distance instead of entering the value. So by this way you can control the distance, and here as you can see I have specified 35 since it has been increased at 35 units on the curve. Here we can set fix end to yes, so then the end of the curve will not be allowed to move. And also we can set copy to yes in the options of command line, and holding down control button model such a curve.